There we go.
You know, we are using this one. After a lot of confusion, we're using this one.
All right, Jason, you have a list of pages for me?
I do, I have to explain my notations for everyone to see if it makes sense. So this is a Shabbat edition.
Yep.
The people at home
Oh,
are
yeah, I know
using,
this.
they're using the electric.
I got it. So it'll be one or the other. I know
And
that.
so
I
what
know
we
that.
do is we call out, for instance, if we were going to say page 14, 132 in the bracket, call them
Yeah.
both out so the people at home know which
I
to go.
totally get it. I do that all the time with the other synagogue when we use that.
I could not, Sadi Katamar, I'm trying to think of what it's out, what group, what's in.
It's, so Tzadi Katamar is, where do we go here?
I think-
So it's actually part of, it's at the bottom of the page on, Mizmor LeDavid, Tov Leo, Tov Leo Dov Ladonai. It's the bottom of the page. It's at-
Mizmor LeDavid. Okay, well, that Mizmor LeDavid, it's on
Alright.
29.
No,
No.
it's Psalm 29, it's on page 20.
Right,
It's on page 20 in my book, but yeah, Mizmor LeDavid is Psalm 29.
right, but Sadi Katamar is
Is
the
Psalm 92.
Psalm 92. That's what I needed to
Yeah,
know.
Psalm 92.
Give me just one moment. I will have that for you.
All right. Okay, we're gonna get started in just a minute, guys. 7:02, I'm 2 minutes late.
It's not your fault. It has to do
Yeah.
with a failure
all
to
good.
communicate.
It's all good.
Let me look in the back here. I think they have an index.
We're
of
gonna have to do the
Psalms,
same thing for tomorrow.
but we'll do it in advance
Yeah.
and not on the fly here.
Okay.
Psalms.
Well, here, why don't I get started, and then once you figure out where Tzadi Katamar is, you can just, like, when we get there, you can tell me and I'll announce it. You can just announce, tell me from
Or
where.
just sing it. People know it. They
Yeah.
follow along. Don't
Okay,
even have
that's
to do a
fine.
page number.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all,
My wife saves the day.
so first of all, I am Rabbi Arthur Stern. And for those of you who don't know, I'm visiting here from Springfield, Illinois. And I want to say thank you first of all, thank you to the search committee who offered me the opportunity to come here and do services with you guys, and also to the board for supporting this effort. I appreciate it very much. I want to thank Dave especially, who has been just wonderful, and everybody I've met has been wonderful. So I just want to say thank you for really making me feel at home and comfortable and welcome, and I feel very, very blessed to be here. So thanks so much. Okay, a couple things. Let's go ahead and do this first. This is something that I initiated in the synagogue where I'm the rabbi currently, and I think it's important to do. So we'll just take like a couple of moments to just close our eyes, take a few deep breaths, separate ourselves from the craziness of the week, and just align ourselves for Shabbat. So let's just close our eyes for a moment. And breathe in and breathe out. Okay, we're back. Okay. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, in ancient times, if you study the ancient rabbis in ancient Judaism, the rabbis said that people needed to meditate for at least 1 hour before they could pray. So I figured I wouldn't bestow upon you an hour of meditation before we began to pray, but that's what they did in the old days. But I think it's important to just separate ourselves from the week and let us know that we're here for Shabbat. Okay, why don't a couple of you guys come up and light the Shabbat candles? Any takers?
I'm good, okay.
Yeah. You know the prayer?
Yes.
Okay. And you're on, so you got it. It's all on you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lecha adlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you for doing that. Okay. So something else I thought I would do this evening as we started the service, and I am pretty adamant about keeping Friday night services to an hour. We might go a couple minutes over because we started a little late, but you can hold me to that. And people in my synagogue hold me to that. And I keep services on Friday nights to an hour. I always joke around and say this might be in bad taste, but I, I'm pretty relaxed on the pulpit, so I feel comfortable. But I always say that if we can't tell God what we need to in an hour, then something's really wrong. So we should probably figure that one out. We're going to start off tonight with a prayer for the hostages that are still being held in the Middle East. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers, that they be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy, that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces, that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them. Okay. All right. So we're going to start. So just so everybody knows, I'm going to call out the pages from from Mishkan Tefillah, from the book you have, and I'll call out both pages. So there's, so that you guys know, no matter what book you have for the Mishkan Tefillah, because I know there's two different books. I've had to do this before. So we're going to start off with Shalom Aleichem, which is on 29-142. And please, everybody, sing along so that I'm not a loner up here. I love when people participate. So,
I'm sorry.
uh-oh.
Yeah. On page 24 or 142.
24, yeah.
Yeah, 24. I'm sorry, I read your writing wrong. That's my fault.
Writing, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mihi Melech, Malachei Hamalachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu li l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Seichem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Okay, beautiful. Great. You have great voices. Okay. All right, so we're going to actually go to Lechuna Ranana, but first, before we do the Hebrew, we're going to do the English. So I'd like someone to come up and do the English responsively. It's on page 12 and 130. or maybe even if there's a couple out here who wants to come up and do the responsive reading, that'd be great. It's Psalm 95. Come on.
Sure.
Come on up. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, you can use my book. You can use my book. It's funny, when people come to the pulpit, they always bring their own book. I think they think that like the rabbi has a special book or something that people can't use.
Here.
Psalm 95. Yeah, come let us sing. There you go.
Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai, raise a shout for our rock and deliverer. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song. For Adonai is a great God, the great ruler of all divine beings. In God's hand are the depths of the earth. The peaks of the mountains are God's. God's is the sea, God made it, and the land which God's hands fashioned. Come, let us bow down and kneel, bend the knee before Adonai our Maker. For Adonai is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. Oh, if you would but heed God's charge this day.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Eshikah. Okay. We're at the in the Hebrew for Lechu Neranina, so please join in with me. Lechu Neranina, Neranina Ladonai Neria Litzor Yishehenu. Lechu Neranina, Neranina Ladonai Naria Litzor Yishehenu. Nikad Mafanav, Nikad Mafanav, Nikad Mafanav B'Tohodah, Bizmiro, Narihi Ahalo, Bizmiro, Narihi Ahalo. Beautiful. Okay. That would then bring us to page 136 for Mizmor LeDavid. There's lots of different tunes and melodies you could do to Mizmor LeDavid, but we'll try one that I think you all would know, so please join in. Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai B'nei Eli, Havu Ladonai Kavod V'Oz, Havu Ladonai Kavod Shemo, Ishtachavu Ladonai B'Harat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Al Hamayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai Al Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai B'Hakoach, Kol Adonai B'Hadar, Kol Adonai Shover Azim, Vayishaber Adonai et Arze Halvanon, Vayarkidem Kimo Egel, Levanon V'Sirion, Kimo Vein Re'ehemim, Kol Adonai Chotzik Lavot Eish, Kol Adonai Yachil Mihidbar, Yachil Adonai Mihidbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yechol Hayalo, Ve'echesof Yarahu, Uvehei Kalo, Kulo Omer Kavod, Adonai Lemabu Yashav, Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Liamaho Yitain, Adonai Yevaharech et Amo Bashalom. Okay. All right, we're going to go to L'Chadodi, which I'm sure all of you know. It's on page 20 and 138. And we'll show, I'll show the first two and the last two verses, and please join in for L'Chadodi. L'Chadodi lihikra kala, Penei Shabbat nikala, L'Chadodi lihikra kala, Penei Shabbat nikala, Shahamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Ishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likra hakala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra hakala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Likra Shabbat lechu b'nelcha. Ki mikor habracha. Hiroshmi kedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la. Lecha dodi lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Okay, we're on verse second from the last. Yaminu shmo tifrotzi v'et Adonai taritzi al yad ish ben parsi v'nismecha v'nahila lecha dodi lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. V'hoi v'shalom ateret bala. Gam b'simcha u'tzahala. Tov emunei am segula. Boi chala boi chahala. Lecha dodi likra kala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likra hakala. Penei Shabbat nikabela. Beautiful. You may all be seated. Wow, we pulled that one off. That was great. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, we're on page, let's see. So we're on Psalm 92. So I'd like a couple of people to come up and do the responsive reading for Psalm 92, which is one of my favorite Psalms of all. Can I get a couple of takers? You guys can read it from your book. If you want, it's up to you.
22, 140 in the bracket.
Okay, so 22, 140 is where it is in your book. Come on over here.
Okay, a psalm for Shabbat. It's good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with a 10-stringed harp, with voice and a lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your work. How great your works, Adonai! How very subtle your designs! A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand. The righteous bloom like a date palm, they thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit, full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock and whom there is no one.
Beautiful. Dr. Koach, thanks so much. Okay, so the accompanying prayer to Psalm 92 is Sadiq Katamar. Sadiq Katamar Yifra Ke'eres Balvanon Yisger Shutuli Hatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yinuhu B'Seva Desheni V'Rananim Yihu Lehagi Ki Ashar Adonai Suri Loav Latavo. Wonderful. Okay, so we will now get into the entrance to Ma'ariv. So we'll do the Baruch Hu. Please rise if you wish and are able. We're on page 28, 140, 28, 146. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Amevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. Umavir Yom umehevi Laila, umavdil ben Yom uvein Laila. Adonai Tzibaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Okay, you may be seated. We're on page 32, 150 for Avat Olam. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Torah Mitzvot Chukim Mishpatim Otanu Lemahadita Al Kein Adonai Eloheinu B'Shofeinu U'V'Kumeinu Nasiach B'Chukecha V'Nismach B'Divrei Toratecha U'V'Mitzvotecha Le'olam Va'ed Ki Heim Chayenu Be'orech Yameinu Be'orech Yameinu Uvahem Neged Yomam V'Lahaila Yomam V'Lahaila Ve'avatecha Al Tasir Mimenu Le'olamim Baruch Ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Okay, we are on page 34, 152 for the Shema. And you guys know the Shema? Do you guys know the Shema? No? Okay. I thought maybe we'd have the little ones come up. What are their names? I'm sorry?
Aviv and Talia.
Aviv and Natalia, okay. All right. You guys can come up and sing the Shema if you want.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Arthur, by the way.
Huh?
I'm Arthur. Yeah. Yeah. All right. You want to sit? You can sit right up here.
Yeah.
Please cover your eyes and humble yourself. Look before God. Where did we go here?
What do we do?
34.
You know the page? You know the prayer? Ready? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Malchuto Leolam Va'ed Ve'ah ואהבתה את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאהוב בידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children, and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. We continue silently, and I'll just finish this up at the end of the Shema on page 31. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Okay, we're on page 40 and 158 for Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha Ve'elim Adonai. Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Nohora Tehilo. Oh, say Fele, Malchutecha Rauvanecha, Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe, Say Eli Anu Biamru, Adonai Yemloch Leolam Vaed, V'ne'emar, Kifada Adonai et Yaakov, Ugyalo Miyad Chazak Mimenu, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Okay. We're on page, so I'm not sure what it is in your book, but in my book, it's page 33. I'm going to read Hashkivenu we'll do that in
Page
English.
42, 160 in the bracket.
Okay, got it. 42, 160 in the brackets. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again. Join in, folks. Our sovereign, oh, you have a different book than me. That's funny. Okay. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler, guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people, Israel, and over Jerusalem. Amen. Okay, now we can pick it up again. We're at the top of page, on page 44, 162 for Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasu et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasu et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat lahaso et hashabat ledoratam berit olam ki sheshet yamin asa Adonai et hashamayim et haaretz vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat lahaso et hashabat ledoratam berit olam uvayom hashvi shavat v'yinafas shavat v'yinafas shavat v'yinafas v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat lahaso et hashabat ledoratam berit olam. Beautiful. It's like, that's one of my favorites for sure. Yitkada v'yitkadash shemei rabba ve'amadi brakute ve'amlich malchute b'chayechonu v'yomechu uvchayedecho b'Yisrael ba'agala uvizmahan kahari ve'imeru amen Yeheshmei Rabbam Bevorach Le'olam Olam Me'omaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalah Shemei V'kudisha V'yitchu Le'ela min kol berchata v'shihirata tushbechata v'nechemata dachal mihiram v'yama v'meru amen. Okay, we are at the Amida, so I guess you could do either 35A or 35B, whichever you choose. Oh, yeah, right. 4662. And it says 164, 180 in the brackets. So 46 to 62, 164 to 180. Please rise if you wish and are able. I'll finish this up at the end of the Amida with Osa Shalom. Ose shalom b'rama, Uyase shalom aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Ve'imru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, Ve'akol Yisrael. Okay, beautiful. All right, I'm so glad you guys like sing along and participate. So for a rabbi, it's great because standing up here doing it like all alone just doesn't feel good. So I appreciate that. Okay, so we are at our Mishnah Beirach, and typically in my congregation we do a couple of things. And so first of all, we'll start on Zoom, but I don't see anyone on Zoom who might want to. If you want to say the name of someone who you want to send a speedy and full recovery to, please do so. I don't see anyone on Zoom. So Dave, do we have anybody who's participating?
Help, maybe, I see why you're not seeing. So.
Rabbi, we have 11 people on Zoom.
Okay.
There we go.
So let's start off with Zoom, and anybody who wants to say the name of someone that you want to send a speedy and full recovery to, please raise your hand or let Dave know and he'll unmute you.
You can unmute yourselves. Go ahead, Debbie.
Okay, Michael Ryan, Vicky Ryan.
Is there anybody else? Okay, Rabbi, it's all yours.
Okay. Let's come here in the synagogue. Over here, anybody? Any takers? Anybody? I'm sorry? Okay. I would say, okay. Anybody else?
We have a list.
Okay. And is this the list then?
No, that's the Niftar list. They're already sort of taken care of. So this is our list.
Okay.
If you want, I'll read.
Yeah, you want to read? Sure.
Just to help out.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Marvan Rafaela, Bat Sarah Imenu, Jason Bloomberg, Tim Solon, Ed Clark, Eliafa Bat Sarah, Malka Bat Esther, Cheryl Cohn, Patrick Van, Amy Davis, David Shlomo Ben Chaya Yokovet, Dorothy Feldman, Lila Galinsky, Jackie Giorgio, Joe and Priscilla Golden, Rivka Chaya Bat Chana Rivka Bat Sarah, Morris Gardner, Babs Klein, Yaakov Ben Menachem Mentacha, Barbara Bracha Bat Hinya Mentacha, Henry Stinson and Melvin Sanders, Roger and Patricia McDaniel, Donna Pepper, Benjamin David Ben Talia Ruth, Micah Ben Talia Ruth, Georgia Young, Mary Ann Palmer, Dwayne Zobel, John Slingwine, Adrian Mantacha, Seeger Johnson, son of Otto, Oraz Mantaka, Aharon Yaakov Ben Pesach, Sue Decker, Carol Hirschman, Debbie Collier, Rick Padilla, Karen Everett, Jamie Tenorio, Leo and Derek Robinson, Lonnie Riddenauer, Mary Wilsey, Alex Premisler, Margaret Eisenbach Bloomberg, Matthew Snyder, Tikva McKinnon, Debbie Whaley, and Reverend Bob Murphy.
Do you want to stay up and say, speak to some Mishnah Beirach if you want?
If you want me to do that, page 253. As I flip to it myself. Here we go. Mishnah Beirach Avotenu Mikol habracha le'avoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelama, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Reverend, so much. Terrific. Okay, great. Yeah, we actually in my congregation we always have a congregant sing the Mishaberach, which I think is a great honor. Okay, so now the moment you've all been waiting for. I'll do a little talk on a subject here. All right. So this talk that I'm going to give you tonight actually was inspired by one of my favorite people. Unfortunately, he has passed away now, but I did get to see him speak live when I lived in LA, which was a great honor, and I got to meet him. His name is Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory. And he gave this talk that inspired me to write what I wrote for this like over 4 years ago, not that long before he passed, actually. And I thought it was like super profound when I originally heard it, but I had no idea how much it would resonate 4.5 years later. So think about this as I talk about it, because he wrote this, over probably close to 5 years ago now. And I don't even think that he could have predicted at that time how relevant and how profound it would actually be in today's world. So I'm going to begin this evening with a quote from a play written by William Shakespeare. Not a Jew, but certainly a very wise man indeed. This is a quote that I believe could have a major role in transforming a person's life. It's a line from the play Twelfth Night, which Rabbi Sachs states goes right to the heart of what it means to be Jewish. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. I wasn't born great. I'm not going to achieve greatness. However, at some point later in my life, I too realized, as Rabbi Sachs did, that if you are Jewish, you have greatness thrust upon you. So what does this mean? In what way, you may be asking? It is because we are the heirs of the descendants of the most influential man who ever lived, Avraham Avinu, our patriarch. Abraham, who is considered today the ancestor in terms of faith of 2.4 billion Christians, 1.6 billion Muslims, and some of us Jews, probably most of whom are just gathered in this room tonight. Think about this for a moment. This man, Rabbi Sachs states, wore no crown, reigned no empire, commanded no powerful army, performed no miracles or prophecies. However, he changed the world with his faithful determination to heed God's call. We are the descendants of Moshe Rabbeinu, who was referred to by the inspiration of the French Revolution, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, as the greatest legislator in the history of humanity. We are also the descendants of David HaMelech, who was not only the greatest king of Israel, but the greatest religious poet in all of history. We are the heirs of the prophets, the first social critics in the world, the first people to tell the truth to the powerful. When one of the greatest leaders of all time, Dr. Martin Luther King, gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech while standing in front of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., he quoted at the height of his speech, word for word, no less than 2 Pesuchim, 2 verses from Isaiah, Haftar, and Shabbat Nachamu. We are the heirs throughout history of some of the most influential figures in all the world. Jews have been among the most critical innovators in every discipline and in every generation. In physics, science, sociology, and anthropology, Jews even invented Hollywood. Jews invented psychoanalysis. Apart from Jung, Sachs tells us all psychoanalysts were Jews. All the great psychotherapists, or almost all of them, were Jewish. Viktor Frankl, Aaron Beck, the co-founder of cognitive behavioral therapy, which is what I wrote my dissertation for my doctorate on, by the way. Martin Siegelman, 36% of Nobel Prizes in economics. The greatest musicians, from Arnold Schoenberg to the greatest poets in pop music. The late Leonard Cohen, Paul Simon, and Bob Dylan, all the way to Sergey Brin from Google and Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. Here are some other Jews who changed the world. Albert Einstein, Joseph Pulitzer, Henrietta Zoll, Shalom Aleichem, Louis Brandeis, Irving Berlin, Mel Brooks, the Marx Brothers, Abraham Joshua Heschel, George Gershwin, Jonas Salk, Itzhak Perlman, Elie Wiesel, Lenny Bruce, Sandy Koufax, Gloria Steinem, Henry Kissinger, Golda Meir, Mark Spitz, Steven Spielberg, Alan Greenspan, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And there are many more, I assure you. And Jews have innovated over and over again. We have innovated generation after generation. And although some of the personalities mentioned were not especially religious, each of them maintained that essentially Jewish idea that you transform the world not by the idea of power, but for the power of ideas. Sachs says, and that is what Judaism means. We are the people whose heroes are teachers, whose fortresses are houses of study, whose passion is the study and life of the mind. We are the people of lifelong learners. We are the people of education. However, one of the sad things about Judaism today is that many people are walking away from Judaism. Studies show that between 1 in 2 and 2 in 3 Jews are leaving Judaism behind, and that makes me very sad. We have existed in this world over twice as long as Christians and 3 times as long as Islam. We have existed longer than almost all people, and we have not just existed, we have thrived, even in the face of enormous headwinds. Even in the face of the Holocaust, the pogroms, the Spanish Inquisition, and yes, even in the face of the most recent tragic event on October 7th. Today, Jews enjoy freedom and independence as never before. Our ancestors, our grandparents and great-grandparents could never have imagined that we would enjoy the freedoms and opportunities we are fortunate enough to have in our lives today. Yes, even in the face of all the anti-Semitism and Jewish hatred we are living through in our world today, we are still thriving as a people. 10 years ago, I received a calling. That calling was to embrace my Judaism when a voice came into my head and said, why don't you become a rabbi? Being a rabbi was never on my radar screen. I felt called to become more Jewish. I'm not sure why God called me, but it was clear that I was called. And when I decided to go to rabbinical school and become a congregational rabbi, it changed my life forever. I chose to become more Jewish. I made a decision back then to embrace Judaism as never before. I would like to inspire each of you and light that fire in every one of you here tonight to be just a little more Jewish today than you were yesterday, and to be a little more Jewish tomorrow than you are today. Now, we all understand that it's hard to be a Jew, especially today with what we see in the world. It's not easy, and we ask a lot of our people. There are all those laws, all that study, all those restrictions, who you can marry, what you can eat, when you have to rest. Here I want to tell you something that Rabbi Sachs said over 4.5 years ago that is even more true today than it was back then. Think about how profound this was back then. He said, everything today is an algorithm. Our world is built on algorithms. They are so valuable that people are willing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars for the right algorithm. What is an algorithm anyway? I'm not sure I have any idea. When I was little, we had a rhythm, but we didn't yet have the something, the algorithm. You can have a small neighborhood bookstore, but if you have the algorithm, you become Amazon.com. There were thousands of search engines before Google, but you discover that it's a Larry Page and a Sergey Brin, and you discover the right algorithm, and then you can change the world. Today, it seems like TikTok has the most sought after algorithm. Rabbi Sachs goes on to elaborate, and this I love. A long time ago in an arid desert, at the foot of a mountain in Sinai, God transmitted to a people, a small, fragmented, and obstinate people with nothing that could distinguish them specifically. And he transmitted to them an algorithm. It turns out it was the first and oldest algorithm in all of history. It turns out we invented the first algorithm as well. It was called Torah. And this algorithm made them the most remarkable people, tenacious and unhappy with their destiny, as the world has ever seen. How that works, I can't tell you, but I know it works. Yes, it does. And here is the great beauty of the Jewish algorithm. We can all access it. Each and every one of us here tonight, whether Jewish or not Jewish, can take advantage of the Jewish algorithm, as Rabbi Sachs calls it. The world is changing faster than ever, and this speed increases every year. And you will need certain strengths to do well, to prosper, and to succeed. And I want to tell you from experience what this Torah algorithm has done for me and what it can do for you in your life. Firstly, Torah will strengthen all your important relationships, including marriage. No one has stronger feelings of community than Jews. No one has the same sense of collective responsibility as Jews around the world, because Kol Yisrael Arevim Zebazeh, all Jews are responsible for each other. Shimon Bar Yochai said, when a Jew is hurt, all Jews feel his pain. Nobody has relationships like ours, believe me. Just look around at the camaraderie you have in your own congregation. Alone, you will not be able to live and find happiness and success. All studies show that your success and happiness in life depend on the intensity and quality of these relationships. And that is the first thing Judaism will do for you. One of the most important characteristics that Navy SEALs learn, but in by far the most difficult training in the entire world, is that those who succeed and graduate are the ones who learn to ask for help and who help others. In Alcoholics Anonymous, we say you cannot keep it unless you give it away. Secondly, success depends on habits of discipline and willpower. Halakha, or Jewish law, is the largest uninterrupted seminar in the world on discipline and willpower. Jim Rohn champions, we must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is that discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Winners embrace hard work. They love the discipline of it. The trade-off they're making, this is the trade-off they're making to win. Losers, on the other hand, see it as a punishment. And that's the difference, says Lou Holtz. Mike Ditka states, success isn't measured by money or power or social rank. Success is measured by your discipline and inner peace. Just look at the discipline of Moses and the Israelites in the desert for 40 years. Third, Judaism will keep your mind active throughout your life because we are the people of lifelong learning. I had a situation happen to me around 10 or 11 years, it was actually closer to 11 years, that changed me forever. I was working in the spiritual care department at Sinai Hospital in LA, which is a very large Jewish hospital in Los Angeles. I went to visit a patient early on in my tenure who was there. She was Jewish and she was awaiting a heart transplant. She was in her 40s, early 40s, and Linda was her name. She had been waiting 6 months for a heart when I began visiting her. She was connected to machines that were keeping her alive. She could not leave her room because she needed to be hooked up to machines or else she would die. She could not survive on her own. Her heart didn't really work anymore. On the very first day I visited her, she asked if we could study Torah together. Here she was, barely alive, waiting for a heart that would most likely never come, as most people who need heart transplants actually never receive them, and they just die. See, there are not enough hearts to go around, and all she wanted to do was study Torah. Her and I studied Torah every Friday afternoon before Shabbat. We did this for months. Then one day I came to her room to study on a Friday afternoon, and she seemed really sad. She informed me that everyone on her floor that was waiting for a heart was just sent home, and they were going to send her home too because there were no hearts for them. She was sad, but she wanted to study Torah anyway. So we began to study, and just as we had done on many previous Fridays, we studied Torah. In the middle of our study, her phone rang, and she said, "Oh, it's probably the nutrition people. They are always bugging me on Friday afternoons." She said, I'll talk to them later. But I reached over and I grabbed her phone and I handed it to her and I said, no, it's totally okay. You can answer. She answered the phone and the person on the other end of that phone informed her that they had found a heart for her. And they would be implanting it in her at 7 a.m. the next morning, on Shabbat, no less. She was overjoyed. I watched Linda at 40 years old get a new heart. 2 weeks later, when she left the hospital, I met her fiance, and they went on to live a normal, happy life. And that is the power of Torah. Fourth, anything you do in life will require you to have an inner code of morals. We need that inner voice that tells us no, and that is what Judaism teaches us. The Torah teaches us to have integrity. It teaches us to live right. If everyone would just practice the 10 Commandments, just think how much better our world would be. And fifth, Rabbi Sachs tells us to be happy, successful, and resilient, you need a sense of identity. You need to know who you are and what history we are part of. To be Jewish is to be part of the greatest story on earth. These 5 points will not make a small difference in your life. They will make all the difference in your life. They are all part of that remarkable algorithm that has made Jews the most resilient, creative, and transformative people the world has ever known. And yes, we may not have been born great. We may not have achieved greatness. But if we are Jews, we have greatness forced upon us. And yes, it is difficult to be Jewish. And it has become even more difficult since October 7th. It requires effort and dedication and will. But it's the difficult things that make us strong. It's doing the difficult things that make us proud. They are what makes us feel more intensely alive. In life, if we do what is difficult, then life will be easy. However, if we do what is easy, if we take the easy route or cut corners, then life will be difficult. Let us enjoy together this unique moment of independence and sovereignty of Medinat Yisrael, of freedom and equality in the diaspora. And let us live truly proud as Jews, faithful to our faith, as a blessing to others, regardless of their religion. We are the people of Tikkun Olam. We, as Jews, are charged with repairing the world, with making the world a better place. And I assure you, together, if we live the Jewish algorithm given to us over 3,000 years ago, we will transform the world. Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. By the way, just so you know, like ever since I went to rabbinical school, I have to tell this story real quick. I think we're okay on time. Yeah, we're not doing too bad. Okay. My rabbinical school mentor, who's in his early 90s, he's like 93 or 94 now. Him and I are very close. And ever since the day I became a rabbi, I send him every one of the Devar Torahs that I ever write. And he gives them like his okay and gives me some critical feedback, you know, where he feels like he needs to. And he's read every single one of the ones I've written for the last almost, over almost 5.5 years now. And he loved this one. So he's the one who told me this is the one I should do for you guys. So he's a very, very sweet and very important man. Okay, we're at Kiddush. So, okay. Okay, so we'll do Kiddush in the other room. So then we are at Aleinu. So please rise if you wish and are able. Aleinu is on 282 to 287, according to what's written on the paper here. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'tei gedula yotzer reshit shelo asanu kibulei haratzon v'lo samanu kimishpachot adama shelo sam kelkeinu b'hem v'lo aleinu k'chol hamonam ve'anachnu kori Mishkachavi umodi lifnei melech malchei hamalchi hakadosh baruch hu shehu neshamayim v'yisrael haaretz u'moshe v'karon b'shamayim mimal ushkinatu zo v'gorei mehera homim Hu bezulato, kakahatu, v'torahato, v'yadakahayom, v'yadakahayom, El Babecha, Hi Adonai, Hu Elohim, Bashamayim Imah, V'yal haaretz, V'itachad Elohim. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. V'nemar, v'hayel Adonai, v'melech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad. Ushemo, echad. Thus it is written in your Torah, Adonai reigns forever and ever. Such is the prophetic assurance. Adonai shall be acknowledged ruler over all the earth. On that day, Adonai shall be one, and his name be one. Okay, you may be seated, and we're at Mourner's Kaddish now. Do you want to come read the yard sites since it's your congregation?
I can help with that, Rabbi.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous.
And what we have for the yard sites, I'm going to start with the Niftar list. Those who have died in the previous year, Paul Smith White, Agnes Weinstein, Sophie Halfon, Marilyn Beeman, Rebecca, daughter of Ava and Shai, Joel Bloomberg, Mike Smith, Jay Stark, Tama Nisbet Wolf, and Dennis Coelho, those whose yard sites are in the upcoming week. Mary Herman, Abraham Shapiro, Murray Shapiro, Lewis Nathanson, Malka Shapiro, Melbourne Mickey Quiet, Graves Warren Anderson, Frank C. Garlett, Isaac Goldberg, Minnie Wolf, and Dr. Juliana Kitteglass Lerner. In the sanctuary here, are there any names to add? For those of you on Zoom, if you care to unmute yourself and say the names of someone you are remembering.
For anybody who's saying Kaddish tonight, please rise. And also for anyone who wants to say Kaddish for all of the innocent lives that have been lost in the Middle East, please feel free to do so. In love, we remember those who no longer walk this earth. We are grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for the joys we shared, and for the cherished memories that never fade. May God grant those who mourn the strength to see beyond their sorrow, sustaining them despite their grief. May the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those who mourn and those observing yard site to praise God's name with the words of the Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'amat divra kirutei, v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'yomchon u'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalah u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehesh me'erav v'barach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitzhar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei v'kedusha v'yichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata d'amiran v'yama v'imru amen. Yehesh me'erav v'barach V'him aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'murmav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Israel. Ru. Amen.
We usually do announcements.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you have any announcements? That was the next thing I was gonna say. You're gonna make announcements?
Usually do.
Do it from there, or you wanna do it from?
Thank you all for coming. Please join us for Onig after services. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we will have services followed by lunch sponsored by the sisterhood. And then Rabbi Stern will be doing a class teaching tomorrow night at 6:30, followed by a gala. On Sunday at 3 o'clock, we have dancing. Monday night at 5:30, Bibles and beer at Uncle Charlie's. I think that's it. Two services next week.
September 21st. Chocolate and wine tasting at my house, 3 o'clock, to benefit the Dawson Hospital in Israel. I have 4 cases of wine that need to be sold. Okay, so wives and husbands, we want to see you there. There'll be lots of food.
Sorry.
Great. Okay. And I just want to once again just say thank you to all of you for being here, for having me, for hosting me. I really appreciate it. Everyone's been terrific, and I really appreciate, and I'm honored that you would have me here to Cheyenne. Okay, our closing hymn. Let's go ahead and do Adon Olam, which is 321, 625. And please, everybody, sing along for our closing hymn. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yisir Nivra Li'ena Hasa B'chefto Kol Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Azar Melech Shemo Nikra Le'acharei Kiflot HaKol V'hadol Yimloch Nora V'hu haya V'hu yeh B'tifara V'hu yeh B'tifara V'hu echad V'ein sheni V'hamilot V'havilah V'li rashi V'li tahachli V'lo ha'os V'hamishra V'lo ha'os V'hamishra V'hu eli V'chai goli V'sur chevli V'ein sahara V'hu nisi U'manahosli Menat kosi V'yom ekra Menat kosi V'yom ekra V'yahado Afki ruchi V'eisha V'yanira V'im ruchi Geviyati Adonai li V'lo ira Adonai li V'lo ira. Beautiful. Shabbat Shalom. It's a wrap. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat
Shabbat
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat 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 Shalom. Thanks for all your help. I appreciate it. Thank you for writing the pages. That's what I said to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for writing the pages down. That was super helpful.
All right, we're gonna, unless you want to have a conversation with any of the folks on Zoom, I was gonna close this out.
No, that's fine. I mean, unless somebody has something.
Is there
Dave?
somebody?
I just want to tell you that picture for that you have for Facebook with you and your grandson is adorable. It is so cute.
Thanks, Debbie. I appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna.
Let's take after
we
your
go.
wife,